Hey YouTube, it's in a parking lot right now and I want to make a quick video basically trying to open your mind to why you may not be ready right now to do overhead exercises right now. So, quick question, can you lift your arms straight overhead without compensating or cheating for that range of motion? Like going into shoulder flexion, can you clear your ear? So when I say compensating, I mean like, do your elbows, do they have to bend when you're starting to reach at that top range of motion in order to make it feel like you're reaching overhead? Are your shoulders raising at a certain point? Do you feel like in order for you to move all the way up, your arms, your shoulders kind of have to like hike up, your scapula have to hike up? When you're going through that range of motion, do you feel like you're capping the end range of motion with your shoulders? Like your shoulders can only go a portion of the way and then the rest of your range of motion happens through maybe curving your lower back. So if your shoulder can't express range of motion in that movement right now, then that is probably a symptom of something else in your shoulder that is not moving well. So when we have usable ranges of motion, it doesn't only affect our muscles. Sorry, back up. When we lose ranges of motion, it doesn't only affect our muscles, but the deepest stuff inside of the joint. For most of us, that's the capsule. And when our capsule is affected, we do not only struggle to express range of motion in like a linear way, like flexion, but the first range of motion that we lose is actually rotational. So like internal rotation and external rotation. So what does that mean for you? It means that you should, no. It means that if you want to figure out what your limiting factor is, you should try this. So try going into a sleeper stretch for your shoulder. If you don't know what that is, actually just comment below and I will gladly make an instructional video taking you through that. But for now, just Google it. So use your phone, record yourself going through it, compare how much passive range of motion you have, how much you can internally rotate your shoulder with the other hand gently pushing down, and then compare that with how much internal rotation you have in your shoulder actively without anything pressing down on it. So what do you see when you compare them? Is there a real struggle to even get 10, 15, 20 degrees of internal rotation? Is there any pain on, say, like the inside of your shoulder during the movement? If you compare that passive range of motion with the active range of motion, is there a big difference? Is there a 15-degree difference? Can you passively put yourself through like 60 degrees, but actively you can only control 5 or 10 degrees? So if the answer to any of these is yes, then your shoulder currently is not functioning like a human shoulder should. So doing overhead exercises right now is a no-no. And when I say overhead exercises, I mean like dead hang, doing military press, doing things like that. Maybe an exception would be a landmine press, because that exercise doesn't require you to bring your shoulder into 180 degrees worth of shoulder flexion. It's only a part of that, so that may be an exception, but for the most part your shoulder probably isn't ready to do overhead exercises right now. So right now, instead of just forcing yourself to do those overhead exercises, your goal right now should be to find the right exercise for you that will put you on the path of having a healthy shoulder as a strong foundation, because right now you may not have that strong foundation. And once you accomplish that goal of having a lot of internal rotation, actively having a lot of active external rotation, having good rotational capacity at that shoulder joint, then you can use that foundation and layer on top of that and start doing all the overhead exercises that you want. But it's probably not the best idea for you to do that if you don't have the fundamental movement of internal rotation and external rotation. So comment below if you want to hear me talk about this more, or if you want to hear what the next steps would be, because there are some specific things that I do have in mind. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. Bye.